welcome to La Vida Las Vegas podcast. We're two physical therapists living the life in Las Vegas. I'm Dr. Erica.
And I'm Dr. Joe. We created this podcast for two reasons. First, to connect the healthcare, wellness, and fitness communities in Las Vegas. And second, to highlight all the amazing people we've met along the way.
Thank you for listening, and remember to take care of yourself.
Thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
If you want to introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
Absolutely. My name is Bobby Fulcher. I'm the CEO of NTENSE Sports Apparel. We are a sports apparel company, but we also do some phenomenal events.
So what made you decide to start your own company or an apparel company?
Well, if we go back to June of 2008, I was coming from a run in that hot Texas heat. And I had an almost out-of-body experience where when I came back, the word intense stood out. And so I didn't know what that meant at the time, but I wrote the word down and kind of forgot about it, but it kept calling me. And so I kind of took off the I, and it was still intense. And I was like, okay, what does this mean? What do I need to do with it? But slowly but surely, the universe kind of showed me what it meant and what it was all about. And the passion grew as to get that company name and brand out. And so through some trial and error, here I am today.
Are you from Texas?
I'm from Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
You still have family there?
I still have family there, family in Houston, pretty much all over Texas. We have a huge family.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long have you been in Vegas?
I've been in Vegas for 10 years now. I love it out here. Even through the pandemic that we've gone through, I've stayed positive and focused and motivated. Whereas, I know that, your energy that you put out is paramount as to where you're going. So if you look at my logo, what you put in is what you get out, is what the brand is about. So whether you're an athlete or whether you're, a therapist, when you put in great work, great effort, then the results are always paramount. They always are better. So you don't ever want to, put in half energy to anything and expect some humongous result from it. So you want to put in 100% energy and effort to get 100% results.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, love it. What made you move to Vegas?
Well, my company. This is a worldwide stage, Las Vegas. It's international. And in order to get to the world quickly, you want to be in the world hub. And I looked at Las Vegas as that opportunity to get the brand out to everyone around the world in a short period of time. So that was my thought process coming out to Vegas.
So what made you decide, though, that a clothing company? Because you talked about the principles of what made you come up with it, but what made you think of making shirts and hats?
Absolutely. So if you look at the brand NTENSE, it's an idea. Just like Apple, and oh, by the way, we sell computers. Well, oh, by the way, we sell clothing, sports apparel. So the idea behind NTENSE is the essence of the individual that wears the brand. The brand is something that is internal. It's not something you can see. It's the intangibles, the gumption, the fire, the wanting and desire to be more than you are at this present moment, to always push yourself above and beyond anything that, anyone thought was possible for you. And the way our premise is Michael Jordan, his coach told him in his freshman year that he couldn't play basketball, kicked him off the team. He got cut. He didn't make it. Most people give up right there, right? He went to work. He said that, this is not where it ends for me. I'm better, and I'm going to show him that. And so fast forward today, Michael Jordan is a household name. There's millions of stories like that, such as Wilma Rudolph, who was told that, since she has polio, she'll never walk. She went on to be the fastest woman in the world. That's the NTENSE brand. So as an athlete, I always wanted to wear a brand that meant something, that made a statement without me saying a word. I believe that all the brands that are out there are extraordinary brands. I love them all, but they don't mean anything to me. Some of them I don't even know the meaning of them. They're just part of the culture. I wanted to bring something to market that through sports apparel, which is the manifestation of the idea that translated when you see it. So whether you see the brand, you see the logo, you see markings of our brand, you understand what that person is wearing and why they're wearing it.
Is there a moment for you when, that you went like Michael Jordan, for example? That's a big pivotal moment for him that he didn't make the team.
Oh my!
What would be something for you that was a pivotal moment in your life?
I have a lot of pivotal moments. One was if you look at the Walt Disney story, you know the Walt Disney story. He was homeless at one time. I was there, where it was either give up and just be there and accept that as my reality, or understand the greatness that dwells within me. That would have been a pivotal moment for me, because I could have just said, no, I'm done. I'm not doing this no more. I'm 51 years old. Of course, that wasn't when I was 51, but I honestly could have just gave up right there and looked at life as, woe is me. Felt sorry for myself. Gave up, not tapped into my true potential, which is really what this brand is all about. Tapping into that, what is truly within you. It is the fire that burns within you. And so I ignited that fire, and I live in that space. And I encourage others to do the same, because I was just talking to a homeless guy the other day. I can relate. I understand where he's coming from. And I told him, I said, there's more for you, And he said, yeah. And he said, yeah, you got that fancy car right there and all. I said, I didn't always have this, but I always had it inside of me. And you have that in you as well. I said, what do you like to do? He said, I love to cook. I love to have a food truck. I said, see yourself doing that. Visualize yourself doing that. Be that every day. See yourself serving people great food and then bragging about how delicious it is, and watch your reality change. See, when I realized that I have control of my reality, then I took control. So that's the difference. That's the pivotal moment where you know that you are the writer and director and producer of your life. And when you can realize that, then great things can happen.
That's a good point. I think a lot of people, especially nowadays, don't realize that as much, and they also think everyth's an overnight success.
Yeah.
So when they see anything on Instagram for like half a second as they're flipping through it, then they think, oh, I'm not there yet. You know? But I think it's a really good point. I think it does take time, and you have to. It really is on you too. Like no one's holding your hand. Exactly,
and that's the whole thing. You can't expect a handout, but you should expect a hand up. I think what you expect, you bring about. What you think about, you bring about. I use that adage all the time. So I always keep my mind on positive, uplifting, encouraging things that's going to make you better, things that's going to make you better. If I can encourage you to be more than what you are today, then I've done my job. We were at a job fair today because we're hiring some personnel for the big events and the growth spurt that we're having right now. And I had done a motivational speaking a while back, and one of the gentlemen was there that came to the event. And when he sat down, he said, man, what you told me, it touched me. It really motivated me, and I really appreciate that. I was taken aback because I wasn't even thinking about that at that time. And so what we do matters. What we say matters. How we are in society matters. My whole thing is giving back. As you guys know, with this event, we're giving back to the Opportunity Village. Well, that's just a portion of what I want to do. My mission statement, the NTENSE mission statement is to impact the world with passion and positive forward thinking. So if I'm giving you positivity, then I should give back positivity according to my logo. What I put in is what I get out, and I dwell in that space.
I like it. I don't know if I've ever seen it before where somebody's had a logo that also like signifies like the motto of their brand.
Yes.
Yeah,
Fully
that's
and
so
symbolizes
cool.
it.
Thank
That's
you.
a really good idea.
I appreciate that.
For people watching, can you show it to the
Yeah,
to the video so
absolutely.
we can see that? Okay. Yeah. That's awesome.
And we'll make sure we'll put the logo on the
thank
frame
you.
for the show too.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So how did you go about from having this idea and this concept and you had the feeling for it, but then how did you say, okay, well, I'm going to, like, what did you design first? And then how did you come up with the design for it? Like, how did you test the products? Like, how did you come up with all that?
Okay, awesome. Well, the logo itself was an extreme process because I wanted to create something that had meaning, right? And something that would stand the test of time. And it would always be a part of the fabric of whatever we do within the company. As far as designs for our apparel, as I stated before, we have a local manufacturer here in Las Vegas, and he's been in the manufacturing business a long time. He's helped some humongous brands that are already on the market become successful. Whether that was setting up their systems or setting up how their machinery worked, he's been an integral part. And so it's been very fortunate for us to find this individual because he believes in the brand. And so, I mean, from the design of, and I should have brought some of this by to you guys, but from the design of our hang tags that hang on the clothing when you purchase it, to the actual product, the fabric, everything, it's A+. He's gone as far as designing those hang tags. He didn't have to do that. That's the passion that he has for this brand and the belief that he has in our abilities. So as far as design, he takes a huge part in that. But we definitely bring our ideas to the table. And then we have them fabricate those designs and we test them and see what works, see what doesn't, take it back to scratch to the drawing board. And then we bring out some incredible products. I'm really excited about this right now because, again, this differentiates us from the rest of the market. Really cool stuff.
Sorry. What kind of products do you sell?
Well, we sell everything sportswear. So from the shirt that I have on, which is a 4-way stretch, dry fit, moisture wicking shirt that has a sports cut. So what we focus on is the structure of the body, and then we build around it. And so we sell sports bras, leggings, women's shorts, men's shorts. We have caps, baseball caps, headbands. Then we get into accessories. Soon, probably within a year or two, we'll also be getting into running shoes and other type of sports shoes as well.
How's that research? I feel like there's like a lot of R&D with running shoes, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely. So we actually have, we're made in USA currently. But when it comes to our shoe market, we will most likely come out of Vietnam. Vietnam makes some of the best running shoes in the world. If you look at Nike, you'll see that. And Nike is known for their running shoes. Philippines is another one. Brazil brings some great stuff to market, just to name a few. But if we can, make it happen, we would also do those in America. But yes, when it comes to shoes, not just shoes, but any product is a ton of R&D because you want to see what's on the market, you want to evaluate that and see how that's playing on the market, and then you want to improve it and make it yours, make it better, make it more customer friendly, stylish, durable. Quality is at the forefront of our mind every time we make a product.
That's awesome. So are you like always searching like in stores, like feeling products and
Oh
like doing
man,
the, like what fabric is this? You know what?
yes. That's almost secondary. Like I don't even think about it. I just do it. I'll observe a Nike outfit or some joggers or whatever it is, and kind of compare to what is out there and what needs to be out there. What doesn't exist, and how can we bring that to market and make it a big hit? So yeah, we're constantly thinking.
Did you have any like passion or like thoughts in fashion prior to you starting the brand, or is this something now that has developed because of the brand?
Well, I kind of did. Back when, I don't know if you know who Carl Kanai is. FUBU came out after they did.
Yeah.
I was always, a fashionista in that I liked bringing something to the market that's different.
Yeah.
But I never really got into it like that. That wasn't something I considered I was even capable of before I actually got into it. But now that I'm in it, I couldn't see myself doing anything else.
That's always interesting because I think I don't have a huge creative thought process in my opinion, right? So if something doesn't already exist, I'm always like, I have no idea how to even start that. So
Right.
what does that like process go like for you? Like, what are you thinking about throughout the day to be like, are you like always drawing like different things of what you think about, or like, if, because something exists, you have something in your mind that you're creating and you're
Right.
imagining.
Right.
How does that actually translate to the product that
Well, I'm
actually
glad.
comes
I'm
out?
glad you really asked that. And this is kind of a totality answer. One thing that I'm very spiritual, not religious, but spiritual. And as you can see, I have my crystals on and all those things. I believe in energies, but I also believe in how the universe works. So one of the things that I realize is that I'm a conduit for ideas. So if I'm open and don't close my mind to say I can't think of something, then when I open my mind, then I allow in whatever it is I'm focused on. So if I, like for instance, shoes, I would see something in my mind that doesn't exist, and then I have to be able to translate that to this reality. Let's say years ago, before the cell phone was out, you could draw a black box, but how does this thing function? What does it do? And what is it for? And all these questions. The same thing with the shoes. So I could see that, process it, write it down, draw it or whatever, or convey it to my manufacturer. And then we figure out what that looks like and what it feels like and what does it mean, So it's a long, lengthy process, but sometimes it comes to you in a blink of an eye. Exactly what it is, what it does, how to do it, et cetera, et cetera. So to answer your question, I really opened my mind to receive ideas that don't exist, because I truly believe that everything already exists in the ether. You just have to open to it. It's just like the cell phone was always there. It just had to come into our physical 3-dimension reality, and there it is. And that's everything that exists. It's funny, if you look at online YouTube channels, you'll see somebody holding something to their ear or something from the 20s or something like that. And everybody wants to do this. They traveled back in time and they were talking on their cell phone. That might not be the case, but it may have been the idea at the time. So that's pretty much what I do. Yeah.
And do you have a certain type of athlete that you're designing clothes for, or a certain age group or demographic?
Well, our age, the funny thing about NTENSE is that it applies and transcends across all ages, all races, all genres and backgrounds. So we don't cater to a specific age group, like most would say, okay, between, 25 and 46 is our target market. Our target market is anybody that has a heartbeat and a, mindset of our brand. It's funny, I was in Starbucks one day and I had on an intense shirt, and the individual that was walking out was actually doing an interview. And a guy around 65 years old walked up to me and said, y'all need to make something for my age group because believe me, I'm intense. So it's pretty awesome when you see and hear that because that's feedback that is unsolicited. And it's really cool because you can use that. So there's not a specific age group. Now we do, with our events, we have age groups that we are catering to as far as the event itself. But the product is for everyone that can relate to the brand and understand what the brand is about and represent it well. So, for instance, if you guys purchase a shirt, now you are a part of Intense Nation. So you're part of that mindset, that driving force that says, I am better. I am more. I can do it. Yeah, I hear my kids say, but Dad, I can't. I said, no, we are the Fulchers. We can do anything we put our mind to. So the more I say that, the more it becomes a part of their being. And as they get older, that'll come out. When the minute they think they can't do something, oh, I can. I'm a Fulcher. I can do whatever I put my mind to. My 26-year-old son will tell you that in a heartbeat because I taught him that as a young kid. Did you ever see The Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith? You remember the basketball scene where he's, dribbling the ball, he's passing it to his son, shoot the ball. And he's like, a few shots later, I can't do it, forget it. And his dad was like, I was never really a basketball player. You'll probably never be one either. And those words sunk in his head, and he was like, oh, forget it, I quit. And Will stopped him and said, or Will's character, stopped him and said, don't ever let me or anyone else tell you what you can and can't do. If you believe it, you can do anything. And that's where I live. I live in that space.
That's awesome advice. How many kids do you have?
Total, I have 8 children.
8 children?
Yeah.
Okay.
My wife has 2, so that would make 10. I have 4 older children. My youngest of those 4 is 18. He'll be 18 in August. Then 22, 26, and 30. And then we started over when I met my current wife 5 years ago. We said we weren't having any children, and 4 kids later, 4 beautiful kids later, here we are. But that's it. We're done.
And they're your youngest kids are how old?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That makes it easy to remember, right?
Yeah, absolutely. My 2 oldest will be 4 and 5 in June. And so they're incredible kids, though. I absolutely love them. I've been blessed. They teach me something every day, and they keep me young. Yeah.
Do they ever tell you you're intense, Dad?
All the time. If they saw this, if they were in here right now and they said, you ask them, what does that mean? They say, NTENSE Sports Apparel is who you are. And what that means is that one of our slogan is, it's who you are, right? Because it's not something you could pretend to be. It's who you are.
Love it.
Yeah.
So what do you do as far as for fun in Vegas?
Work.
Yeah.
I'm working 24/7, but for me, it's not really work. I'm not a gambler, so I don't go to casinos. I do play poker, and I love poker, but, building this company, I really haven't focused on anything else but building this company. Building a company is a 24-hour job. Well, let me say that again. 25 hours, 8 days a week. I mean, it consumes you when you're sleeping, when you're eating. I'm sitting here thinking about business as I talk to you guys. It's all encompassing. And I think the more that you can grasp that notion, it's not a job. It's not something you do 9 to 5. It's not something when you leave the office, that's it for the day. It's a part of your fabric. And so for fun, I work out. I'm up at, early in the morning. I hit the gym. That's very therapeutic for me. I get a lot of great ideas when I'm working out. We're getting ready to sponsor several fitness competitors in the bodybuilding world. And the other day I had an Intense shirt on, and one of the competitors that we're sponsoring for a Rhode Island event she came up to me and was like, that's what I am. I'm intense. She's so pumped about a brand like this sponsoring her. You know, a brand that means something, that has substance, is really has been awesome, to say the least.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love to hear that you're passionate about it, and
Oh yeah.
and it's it's fun, as a business owner too. I think it's hard to kind of dissociate those thoughts, that because everything you're doing, you're pouring into it, and
Yes.
being able to sometimes be like, all right, what I'm doing in another part of my life is actually translating into what I'm doing for my business too, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can be intense with your family as well, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
be all into whatever you're doing, spending time with your family,
Yeah.
whether that's, you're hanging out with friends, that you're spending the time with them because you're wholeheartedly present with them.
Exactly. And I believe that you have to be present in every moment, because how quickly does a moment go by? A year, 5 years, 10 years, 51 years. My plan is to go to lay down at 110 and say good night to everyone, and I love you, but I'm out of here. But give 1,000% in everything I do in the meantime. So yeah, I totally agree with that. Live in the moment. I don't live in the past. I don't live in the yesteryears or the tomorrows. You plan for those through strategies and all that building, but you have to be in the now in order to absolutely grow. You're not growing if you're not in the now.
Oh, yeah. Can you tell us more about the events that you have coming up?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, with pleasure. Well, as you guys know, we're doing a intense power run out at Lake Las Vegas on May the 8th, and that's going to be a 3K, 5K, and a 10K. Trail runs, so it won't be on the streets or anything like that. So it's going to be a little tougher because you have the elements of the terrain, you have the elements of the weather, but it's still beautiful at the same time because Lake Las Vegas is incredible. We're going to have the Marines out there. That's the sponsor. We're going to have you guys out there sponsoring. The Army is going to be bringing out a 50-foot trailer for gaming. So, individuals will be able to go in there and do some gaming and things of that nature. We have some awesome sponsorship as well from other companies such as Movement Fitness, a juice company that is incredible. Just a lot of fun activities going on that day. But then we're giving a portion of the proceeds back to Opportunity Village, which is a wonderful organization that I truly believe in. And that is because they take individuals that have some type of disability, whether it is walking or cerebral palsy or something like that, but they help these guys get into a position where they can actually earn a paycheck, go to work, and be self-reliant. I think that's absolutely incredible. So, this is going to be a fun event, and I'm really looking forward to it. We also have a softball showcase. We have a new portion of the company called NTENSE Premier Showcase. And what we do with that is we put on showcases for young men and women that are looking to get scholarships at different colleges, whether it's local or university or something of that nature. So college coaches come out and see their talents, see their abilities, and then if they're really what they're looking for, they'll actually sign them on a scholarship right then and there, which is pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then we got a ton of other events. We're going to be doing everything from snowboarding to motocross. We're going to get into MMA type events. Speaking of which, we have 5 fighters that we're sponsoring for a fight coming up out in Arizona. We also have a UFC fighter that we sponsor. He's not able to wear the products in the ring, but he can wear it during training. So everybody's going to see him wearing it, and that's great for us because, all eyes on the brand is what counts.
Yeah, I think in the ring, they can only wear a certain uniform, right?
Well, right now it's Reebok, I believe, but then there's a new contract with Venom that's going to start taking place soon. Oh, okay. So once we're the big boys on the block,
Yeah.
then they'll be discussing deals with us. Yeah, absolutely.
I love that.
Love it. So how did you get involved with all these different sponsorship deals? I mean, the events.
Oh, sure. Well, again, it comes down to creativity. Me and my team, we sit down and say, what's out there, what's available, and how can we make an impact that's going to be positive for us, but also for the participants involved. So we go to work with what's out there and say, okay, this is something that's feasible, doable, and necessary for the brand. So these events, the event side of the company, if you look at a Red Bull or Monster Inc., they're in all types of events, right? But they're energy drinks. So, how does it really tie in? Well, it ties in well because they are involved with athletes. Athletes drink energy drinks because they need to power through workouts or, get through the day or whatever. And so it's awesome. But with us, we're sports apparel. What do athletes wear? Sports apparel. So it makes sense in that, when we do events, it drives revenue because of, the fees that it costs to get in these events. But then it also creates brand awareness for people that may not know about Intense at the present moment. And then it creates a sales funnel for us because we're selling our products at the events. So it creates a win-win-win, not only for us, but for our customers, because now they see they have another option, an option that may be more meaningful to them, an option that may be more preferable versus what is currently on the market.
So what's something you've learned but you wish you knew sooner?
Oh, wow. That's a lot. Something I've learned, but I wish I knew sooner. That I'm capable. Growing up, I was always told what I couldn't do, all the things that I tried. There was always some type of negative response to it. One in particular that stood out to me was I graduated high school. My junior year, I was the leading rusher in the district. I had about 2,049 yards in 10 games, which is an average over 200 yards a game, which is unheard of, which is exact opposite of my sophomore year. I didn't run any yards because I was scared of the big guys hitting me. It's amazing how a contrast of a year can be. My sophomore year, if the coach was even looking at me to put me in, I didn't want to go on the field, so I'd hide. I'd duck, Oh, I hope he doesn't put me in. I don't want to go out there with those big old guys. Well, fast forward to my junior year, I didn't get off the field. So the difference was my mindset. And I started believing I was capable. I could. And I would see myself, I would visualize, which is a very important part of anyone's existence. You have to visualize yourself in a space that you want to be in. And so I graduated high school, went to the military, went to the Army, and after I got out of the military, I wanted to go try out and walk on for the Dallas Cowboys. And I was training extremely hard. I would run every day, 40 after 40 after 40. I would train muscle building and, getting my body strong, my mind strong, and ready for this tryout. Because I was ready. I knew I could. I believed I could. Well, my adopted mom, rest her soul. I've forgiven her. But I went to her, and I would advise this against anyone, that if you have a negative individual in your life, do not tell them your dreams. They are, when they say there's dream stealers and dream killers, it's true. I told her I was going to try out for the Dallas Cowboys, and her first response is, "Don't even waste your time." And at that moment, my dream of walking on for the Dallas Cowboys was over. No matter how hard I trained, no matter the work I put in, no matter the belief I had, it was instantly gone. And nor did I train anymore for that walk on. I didn't believe I was capable based on her words. I don't know if she just didn't believe in me or really truly thought that, I would be wasting my time. But what I learned from that is I don't care what anyone says. I am capable. And if I have a goal, a dream, an aspiration to achieve a certain something, I will. That's what I've learned that I wish I would have known back then, that I'm capable.
I love that. So what's something you're working on professionally, personally, or physically, or just something you're excited about?
Oh my, that would be a long list. Do we have time?
Let us have it.
Okay. Well, personally, I'm working on my marriage. I'm working on being a better husband, a better father. I don't think you're ever there. So I'm always looking at things I could do to make myself better as an individual so that I can be a better example for my kids and a great provider and take care of my wife the way that a husband should. I think that's extremely important. Relationships are before anything, especially family. Outside of that, personally, I work on my physical body constantly. I always want to be better. I'll be 52 in August. And so my strategy is to be as healthy as I was when I was 25 and as capable of doing the things I was able to do when I was 25. Business-wise, I wanted to be able to establish more business relationships and grow myself as a CEO, a visionary, to be better at business strategies and business nuances, if you will, the ins and outs. And I truly believe that business isn't the working of it, and someone might disagree with me on that. But I truly believe that business is relationships. Because I could be doing all these things, but if I don't have relationships established, then it means nothing. It's fluff. But when you build relationships on respect, loyalty, dignity, responsibility, accountability, then you can build anything based on those attributes. So I'm really working on those things because you're never there. If you think you're there, it's kind of like winning a championship and say, okay, we don't need to train next year for another championship. That's kind of crazy, right? You train for the championship again. So as my business life grows and I get better and better and better, I always want to strive to be even more. I want to be an example as to what an individual should be because we're all being watched, right? So if someone's watching me, I don't know they're watching me, but I'm outside the lines. I'm not conducting myself in a respectful manner or a professional manner or in a giving way, then what am I really producing? So I'm always striving to be more in all of those areas.
And what's something you commonly see in your practice you wish more people knew?
Wow. That's a lot of things. But it's something that we talked about on the break, believing in oneself. A lot of people have aspirations, and I've done motivational speakings where I actually did a Zoom meeting with some youngsters that are in this athletic league that is academically inclined as well as athletically inclined. And it's for, kids that are in, parts of the town that most people wouldn't care if they were successful or not. And the young man that heads that organization is phenomenal. But we were having a meeting, and it was me, an NFL football player, a pop star, and another individual on there. And after we were talking about belief and the ability, I can't attitude, the first thing he said is, I want to play basketball, but I can't. I'm not tall enough. And I reached out and I said, no. Have you heard anything that we've said today? You can. Spud Webb was not the tallest guy on the basketball court, but yet he won dunk contests. It's when you believe you can that you will. And so we share that. Every one of us said the same thing, the power of belief. So if I was to express anything that I thought that people should know, is always believe in yourself.
I love that. How can people find you?
Oh, absolutely. We're at www.IMNTENSE.com. That's IMNTENSE.com.
Perfect. And we'll also put that in the show notes as well. How about any ways to contact you?
They can go to our Instagram. That's going to be at NTENSE Sports Apparel, as well as our Facebook, NTENSE Sports Apparel. And that's spelled with the N, not an I. I is not a part of it. So it's going to be NTENSE SPORTS Apparel. And then that's for both Instagram and Facebook.
I thought about when you were first describing the intense, that you took the I out because of yourself,
Right.
doing it as a team. I always think of the phrase, there's no I in
No
team.
I in team.
But that's what I thought of when
No
you took
I
out
in
the I.
intense.
Yep.
I like that. I might have to use that one.
Love it. We really appreciate you being on the show. We really enjoyed talking with you.
Oh, it's
Love
been
your
my
energy.
absolute pleasure, guys.
Great.
Thanks,
Really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
We'd like to thank you for listening to La Vida Las Vegas podcast. We hope you enjoyed the time with our guests as much as we did. It would help us out so much if you could share, subscribe, or review our podcast, or any combination of the three. Thanks again, and remember to take care of yourself.